And now, I'd like to welcome a very, very good friend of mine, Logan Mehta.
Thank you, Elad. And thank all of you for coming out today. It's amazing to see how many people are here today. We all might be here for different reasons, and that's fantastic. I know that no matter what made each of you come out today, we all have one thing in common. We want change. We want change in this nation's gun laws. We want change in our nation's priorities. And we want change in our nation's politics. It shouldn't be a political debate whether or not to keep our children safe or keep deadly weapons out of the hands of dangerous people. Yet somehow, it takes a terrible tragedy for these conversations to even take place. But this time will be different. Never again will we just send our thoughts and prayers to suffering kids and families. Never again will we need to hear that now is not the time. Never again will we stand by and watch tragedies like the one in Parkland, or Las Vegas, or Sandy Hook, or Columbine, or even Great Mills earlier this week, or countless others take place without anything being done to prevent another tragedy from happening. Never again! I want to tell you my story. My name is Logan Mehta, and I've lived in New City my whole life. I'm 17 years old and a junior at Clarkstown North. And for as long as I can remember, mass shootings have been almost commonplace in our society. In 6th grade, I remember being at home and hearing the news about the Sandy Hook shooting. After that, it seemed like I heard about mass shootings and horrible tragedies on what appeared to be a regular basis. And every time, we would hear talk about how terrible it was, send our thoughts and prayers, and refuse to change. That ends now. I refuse to ignore and forget about all of these countless acts of terror. For years, decades, there has been growing dissatisfaction with the violence in this country and the lack of action to prevent it. The recent tragedy on February 14th was the final straw. We stand alongside the students of Marjory Stoneman Douglas. I am so encouraged by the desire of my peers to participate in government and make a difference. I personally started a local organization, Youth Against Gun Violence, open to any student from any school. And I know there are so many students across the nation fighting in other ways, all fighting for our lives and our future. The activism of the Parkland students ignited a flame that has already grown into a wildfire, and it won't stop now. We need to start something, even if we aren't the ones to end it. It may take years, even generations, until the battle is won. But the time to act is now. As much as anybody has the right to bear arms, I have the right to survive. I, along with every other young American, have the right to an education without worrying about an armed individual breaking into our schools and taking our lives from us. I do not believe that adding more guns to school will solve the problem. I do not believe that arming teachers will solve the problem. And I certainly do not believe that sending our thoughts and prayers will solve the problem. The American youth will not sit by and watch. We will not let decisions be made for us by adults who care more about their campaign than their country. We've had enough. Our right to live should not be part of a political debate on the floor of Congress. It should be common sense. We will push for common sense gun legislation. We will stand up for ourselves and our peers. We will not back down. Instead, we will fight for what we believe in. Every student, kid, brother, sister, son, daughter, and everyone here today, we are the future. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Almost 50 years ago to the date, Martin Luther King Jr. said, "The time is always right to do what is right." That still holds true today. If we sit back and wait, if we don't act now, we won't win. But I believe we can win. If we stand up and fight for what we believe in, we can move forward, even if it's 1 inch at a time. Fight not just for yourselves, but for each other, for your children and your grandchildren, for your neighbors, for your friends, and for the lives lost along the way. We will not give up. And we will win. I'm not here today to tell you how to think or what to say. Instead, I'm here today because I want to be. It's my duty as an American citizen to encourage you to be active. Coming out today is a start, but by no means is it the only thing to do. Join a political group, such as Students Demand Action, Moms Demand Action, the Coalition to Stop Gun Violence, Youth Against Gun Violence, and so many others. Write to your representatives. Go out and vote. Be the change. Be the change that you want to see in the world. The future is ours. And we will win. Thank you.